Welcome back. So we had a question around the menus. How do I make menus? How do I make links? How do I do all that? The quick answer is we use another widget. Now that's awesome, right? But where do we put the widget? What do we do with it? How do we make it work? Let me just show you quickly. Now, obviously we could put it into a page, but I'm going to start off with the actual master page because I want it across all of these various pages. And in the master page, if you look at what we have, we can go and add a widget from the widgets menu. I'm going to use the menus widget. There's obviously the horizontal one and the vertical one. It doesn't matter which one of these you use because you can switch them around. So if I start off with my vertical one here, and then I decide that I want to change it up, I go to the properties here in the blue little circle thing, and I change the direction to horizontal, and then I get out of here and I've got a horizontal menu. Again, if I change my mind, I can change it back to vertical, and off we go. Now the next question is, how does this work? Well, it works magically. If you go to preview, you actually see that all of these are already working and they link. So if I click on tiger, I go to the tiger page. If I click on penguins, I go to the penguins page. All of these things work magically. But what you need to know is, how do I add pages and how do I make pages from this list disappear? Now, all that's done through the actual plan page. So this page here. Now if you let me just zoom out so I can show you, we've got all of these pages which actually have information about what master page they belong, as well as the name we gave them. And if I add another page here, and this is going to be called Untitled 5, by going back and looking at the page, you'll see that it magically gets added to the menu. Now the name is Untitled 5. The reason for that is because Muse just grabs the next available name and puts it in there. But if I change this to Contact Us, and then I go back to the master page, you'll see that it actually updates that. If you did want to change the order of these, you can actually click, drag, and move it over to between these two pages, and when you let go, it basically reorders the pages you have, as well as the order in the menu, which is fantastic. Another thing you might want to do is actually exclude one of these pages. You can right click and go to the menu options and then exclude a particular page from the menu. And so when you do that, you can go back to your master page and you can see that Contact Us is now gone. So those are all the options that you have around the menu in terms of which pages use it and which pages don't. You can add them back in any time, but you can also reorder things and position them where you want them to be in terms of the menu flow. If you did want something to be a sub menu, you can drag it over the top of another thing, and you can see that at that point the menu will update, and this particular item of tiger will not have those other points in it. So if you go inside of tiger, that's it, because the menu works on that first top level of the actual menu items. But if you go and you change this to all pages, what happens is you get a sub-menu appear. So if you go over here to your preview now, when you roll over tiger, you'll see the other pages that live underneath tiger. And that's in case you just want to have maybe a portfolio and maybe have illustrations and photography as sub-menus. They will only appear if someone rolls over that particular item. Again, however, if you don't need that and you do want to have sub-pages, just change it back to top level. And then once you've done that, you can go back into here and you can drag these guys back up the top. So Contact Us behind tiger, elephant in front of tiger, and now they're all in a straight line again, and then in here they all appear as you wanted them to. As with the other menus, the other widgets and the other things that you customize, if you go and you edit one of these things in terms of the fill, all of them will do that, so you can kind of mess around with all the different colors, and it applies to the other items. Same with the text box. If you kind of mess around with what this text is actually, what the color of this text is, and you try and make it a different color, that will work too. So when you go to preview, you'll see that that actually works. But the gray that you're seeing is a part of the state. The state is this other option here. So if you open up the state panel and then you pick the actual menu buttons, you'll see that the menu button has a state for the actual graphic, which is the square behind it, as well as the text. So in the text if you edit the text, all of it's yellow across all of these different states. So you could change it that on rollover the text is going to be red. Let's just do that. And then what happens in terms of the gray box is you might want to have a different color there. You might want to have a you might want to have a darker blue when someone's rolling over it, or you might want to have a lighter blue. So it's really up to you kind of what you want to do. And in terms of Muse, it will apply that to all of these different items for you because they're all part of the menu and they all work that way. The mouse down is when you've actually got the mouse being clicked, so that means that you basically, you can even make that darker if you want. And then the active state is when it's selected and highlighted. So you might actually say that you want it to be white, and you might want to have the text in that state. So let's just select the text layer in the active state to be black, because that way you can tell that it's not really black, but that's alright. You can tell that that's the page you're currently on. So if you go to Tiger, it's no longer a button because you're in Tiger. If you go to Contact Us, it's no longer kind of highlighted. So these are all the things you can do and set up your menu that way, and that will just get you kind of going. Again, if you change your mind and you want to have it horizontal, you can do that. It will still work the same for you, and then you can always change your mind and change back if you need to. So you can definitely play around with it, mess around with it, get some variations in there. It's a great tool that Muse provides that just lets you have all of this in one place. The one thing to remember is do put it into your master page, otherwise you're going to have to put it into all these pages manually. So it's just a lot quicker if you just put it into your master page and not have to worry about it. So as always, if you have questions, please leave them down below. It is the last week, so good luck with everything. If you have questions or concerns, please let me know. Otherwise, good luck. You're almost at the end, and some people have already finished, and you still might be watching this if you've finished because you like learning more about Muse, which is great. So please let us know, give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and we will endeavor to do more interesting videos throughout the week to finish it off. Alright, thanks again guys.